Thank you for staying. Time now for the news. And in our first story, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice says it will invite former Environment Minister Professor Kwabena Frimpong-Boateng to assist with its investigations into allegations politically connected individuals stifled the Galamsey fight. Now, this indication comes in the wake of Member of Parliament for South Dai, Roxanne Nelson Dafiamekpo, informing the Commission he does not have any evidence to provide. The legislator petitioned CHRAJ to investigate the matter following widespread publication of the report with a focus on how key government and politically connected individuals stifled the fight against illegal mining. CHRAJ says it is going ahead to probe the matter despite admitting there are practical difficulties.
We gave the list of the areas of interest in terms of evidence that we think, if they have it, they should make it available to the Commission. It took a while. I think that letter has been with them for well over 3-4 weeks. Until now, we have, that is if I remember, a response from them. But of course, I want to assure Ghanaians that the Commission is investigating this complaint irrespective of whether the complainant is able to assist or not. But it is a duty of every complainant, if you actually have a case before the Commission, to be seen to be interested in supporting the Commission with any evidence that could be available to you. So that is the angle from which the letter written to them was given. And so I must say that we're doing a lot. We've reached out to a number of state institutions, expecting them to forward to us evidence of what we also expect from the complainant as well. There's nothing wrong with having the opportunity to look at all possible evidence and all nuances of the evidence in order to make the findings that we think we would have to make. So we have done a lot for now.
I mean, in terms of their response to you, they specifically make the point that Professor Frimpong-Boateng has what you need, and he's already publicly indicated that he authored those documents. Am I to understand that the individuals that you intend to invite, or those you have already invited, does it include Professor Frimpong-Boateng?
As I told you, we don't do that. We don't normally want to do this in the media. But of course, if the good old prof has got information for us on aspects of the complaint, we will reach out to him. But you see, there is an aspect of the complaint we need complainants to appreciate. In addition to the report by Frimpong-Boateng, the complainants have made specific allegations against Professor Frimpong-Boateng himself on allegations of corruption and the missing excavators and others. You don't expect that. That means that in the context of the allegations against Frimpong-Boateng, Frimpong-Boateng, in the eyes of the Commission, becomes a respondent. And so we can't be asking Frimpong-Boateng to come and give evidence against himself. We must get that evidence external of Frimpong-Boateng. So the areas that we may need Frimpong-Boateng will be areas that have no allegations against him, but for which he has the evidence to support.
I mean, so it means that at this stage, there's the possibility that you call upon him at some point in time.
Definitely. Especially in regard to the areas, one, that he can support the Commission with evidence about his own report, and possibly reach out to him as a respondent in respect of the allegations made specifically against him in the area of corruption and the excavators.
I mean, in terms of that allegation, how would you be investigating it? I mean, clearly they did not give you any evidence with regards to that specific one.
That is why we wrote to them, to appreciate the need to give further and better particulars, because Frimpong-Boateng cannot give evidence against himself.
I mean, are you able to give us a sense of how many people you are looking at or how many institutions, for instance, you've also written to, because it's the petition that was sent to you broadly says that all the named officials in it, as against a petition that ordinarily would have targeted specific names written on the documents.
At this stage, I would not want to go into the details of the investigation. Suffice it that we have written to a number of state institutions to provide evidence. Those people who will be respondents, we are also going to reach out to them. Don't forget, we need the evidence first to ascertain that there is a basis for us to contact the other people who will become respondents. In the absence of any evidence beyond what they have given to us, we need further information or evidence to be able to say the named persons in Frimpong Boateng's report, there is enough basis for us to require a response from them. That is why we are still at this angle of the investigation.
I mean, in terms of your procedure, I know that mostly what you tend to do is when you receive a petition, you do a determination to see that whether this is a matter that falls within your ambit. Am I to understand that you've already crossed that hurdle already?
We've crossed that.
Now, there are multiple legal and administrative processes set in motion to have a new judge handle the trial of Minority Leader Dr. Cassiel Attoforson. The current judge, Justice Ifiasewa Asare-Botwe, has been accused of bias, and the Minority Leader and businessman Richard Jakpa are all demanding her removal from the case. The two are standing trial for their alleged roles in the purchase of ambulances, which the Attorney General says resulted in a €2 million loss to the state.
Businessman Richard Jakpa has petitioned the Chief Justice asking that she transfers the case to a new judge. It is unclear at this stage what specifically is Mr. Jakpa's concern regarding the current judge handling the case. Justice Ifiasewa on Thursday indicated that allegations of bias have been leveled against her. It will be recalled that Mr. Jakpa clashed with the judge on June 20, 2023. This bordered on how he had reacted when a clerk of the court had offered him a sanitizer sent to him by the judge. The judge warned she will not tolerate any disrespect from the parties in the case. The businessman Joy News understands holds the view the judge will not be fair and should be stopped from handling the case. The Minority Leader, on the other hand, has filed a motion at the court asking the judge to recuse herself. He contends some comments made by the judge raises questions regarding her impartiality. Specific reference is made to the judge's warning of issuing a warrant for the arrest of Dr. Forson's witnesses who failed to show up in court. The Minority Leader holds the view that if a summoned witness fails to show up, the court needs to inquire into the reason for the absence rather than simply threatening to cause the arrest of the witness. He therefore wants the judge to recuse herself from the matter in the interest of a fair trial. Justice Ifiasewa announced that due to the pending petition to the Chief Justice, the case will be put on hold awaiting the decision of the Chief Justice. The request by the Minority Leader will also remain outstanding while the court awaits further direction. The Minority Leader has meanwhile petitioned the court asking that his passport be released to enable him travel. That matter is also yet to be dealt with. The case is back in court on July 27.
Now, recent findings by the World Bank have revealed that 50% of 10-year-old students in developing countries struggle with literacy. A post-COVID assessment revealed that this figure had increased to 70%. Managing Director of Operations for the World Bank, Anna Bierde, shared the outcome of this investigation on a visit to the New Gbawe Municipal Basic 1 School to assess the progress of the Ghana Accountability for Learning Outcomes project, that is GALLOP. There is more in this report.
The Ghana Accountability for Learning Outcome project, GALLOP, is an initiative founded by the World Bank. The project supports 10,500 schools nationally. The World Bank Managing Director of Operations, Anna Bierde, as part of her visit to Ghana, went to the Gbawe Municipal Assembly Basic 1 School, one of the beneficiaries of the GALLOP project. She expressed concern about the inability of pupils and students in developing countries to comprehend what they read.
So before COVID, we were tracking data of 10-year-old children to see how many 10-year-old children in the world had a difficult time reading a story that was appropriate for their age and understanding it fully. For developing countries, low-income and low-middle-income countries around the world, 57% of those 10-year-olds actually had difficulty. That was a high number, we felt, and gave us a reason before COVID to really focus and continue to focus on education and learning, actually trying to quantify and understand whether children were learning. After COVID, we have reassessed that number, and it's not a good outcome. We now put the number at 70%. 7 out of 10 children at age of 10 have a hard time reading a story and fully comprehending it.
Deputy Minister of Education Intim Forjo indicated the Gallup project has helped significantly in improving the literacy of students in the country.
Thanks to the support under Gallup, a number of interventions under the Gallup program was targeted at remediation programs post-COVID. So whilst COVID took a hit, learning losses were occasioned, but we had some interventions that addressed some remediation. So after that, in the year 2021, in December 2021, we did a national standardized test. The outcome of our national standardized test was that 54% of learners around the age of 10 are able to read proficiently at grade level. But 56% is not where we want to get to. We actually want to ensure that minimum, our strategic target is to ensure minimum 90% of learners at the age of 10 are able to read proficiently at grade level.
We saw 2 classrooms, B2 class and B3 class, and what I saw was a very, very engaged group of students with teachers with just excellent skills to keep the students learning, keep them motivated, building on each other, which was great. Going forward, we did ask the teachers if there was anything else that they felt they needed, and I think one thing that they very much appreciate more of is equipment like printers, to be able to print more documents in color, for example, as part of the teaching curriculum. And of course, as always, and I know that the Ministry of Education is paying attention to this, always the ratio of students to teacher, keeping it within reasonable numbers so that the teacher has time for all the students. But I have to say I saw a strong engagement and very good reading skills and comprehension skills.
Headmaster of Akakpo Municipal Assembly Basic 1 School, Bob John, said the Gallup project has improved teaching and learning in the school.
Currently, with the Ghana Education Service System, we are having teachers coming from our various colleges who have learned this form of skill in early childhood. And that's why when we come, we make sure that the creativity aspect of our classrooms enable the children to pick the learning from there.
At least 2.9 students have benefited from the Gallup project. Esther Nkrumah's report read to you.
Now, a Kumasi High Court did not take the plea of a police inspector standing trial for the alleged murder of his girlfriend at Idum in Kumasi, as lawyers for the accused failed to show up in court. Inspector Ahmed Chumesi, also known as Tycoon, was appearing before the High Court for the first time after an Asokore Mampong District Court committed him for trial last month. The inspector, accused of shooting his girlfriend Victoria Dapa, a mother of one, multiple times with a police service rifle, has been charged with murder by the Attorney General. Ohiming Tewia, who has been on this beat, has more in this report.
The hearing didn't go the way we expected. I was the only woman among the relatives, including our family head and 3 other men. We were just 5 available in court. I'll plead with you journalists to continue following the case for us. People say this case won't go anywhere. 26 July.
These were the words of a disappointed relative of 27-year-old Victoria Dapa, also known as Majwa. The mother of one was allegedly murdered by her boyfriend Inspector Ahmed Chumesi of the Central Police Command in Kumasi. Victoria was shot 6 times on April 20, 2023. The accused person was last month committed to stand trial at the Kumasi High Court on murder charges slapped on him by the Attorney General. Inspector Ahmed Chumesi, also known as Tycoon, made his maiden appearance on Thursday before the Kumasi High Court, presided by Justice Rosemary Batusu. But the hopes of scores of relatives of the deceased to witness proceedings were dashed when sitting started earlier than anticipated. The court was, however, forced to adjourn because counsel for the accused, Ernest Aye, did not show up. This also means the plea of the accused could not be taken. The court's attempt to empanel a jury for the trial of the police inspector had to be put on hold. Some disappointed relatives continue to agitate for speedy adjudication to serve the deceased and her family with justice.
As a mother, I ask for justice for Majwa, who left behind a 3-year-old daughter. For the sake of this small girl, justice should prevail. This case is in the interest of all women. Justice served is justice for all women.
Meanwhile, hearing has been scheduled for July 26, 2023 at 12 noon. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Oyemintiria reporting.
Now, the Municipal Chief Executive for the Upper Dentra East has commended Adom FM and TV's anchor Anochiwaba Ajuasewa for helping young girls in his municipality combat period poverty. His commendation follows the donation of sanitary pads by Anochiwaba's Anoba Foundation. The foundation, through an initiative dubbed the Sanitary Project, solicited funds from benevolent Ghanaians home and abroad to purchase and distribute sanitary products to young girls in underserved communities in the central region.
Don't have the financial wherewithal to purchase these pads. This birthed the idea for the Sanitary Project, an initiative by Anochiwaba Ajuasewa and her Anoba Foundation. The team, through the benevolence of others, has donated sanitary pads to girls in the Upper Dentra East Municipality. Municipal Chief Executive for the area, Ebenezer Forson Apia, commended the team for this project.
We are grateful to Anoba Foundation for this wonderful gesture that they have done to the schools in Upper Dentra East, Emisa Chrome, KPK, Poku Chrome, Isikuma and Merichoso. In fact, the girls are really, really grateful to you for this wonderful gesture. In fact, this sanitary pads, which has been distributed to the girls, is going to help the girls in a very long way. And we all know the issues which comes with menstruation and its complications and all of that. And sometimes the girls even feel shy to even tell their parents. Sometimes parents who have issues with purchasing these pads for their kids, and it becomes a problem. Some even stay out of school because of this issue. And so this distribution, which has been done to them, is in line and it's very good, and I know it's going to impact the girls positively.
Head teachers of Amisa and Poku Chrome JHS were delighted by this gesture.
I'm so glad this morning. I and my staff, we are so glad this morning. Anoba Foundation to visit our school to share this sanitary pad to the children. We are so grateful this morning, and we give thanks to the Lord, and we give thanks to Anoba Foundation.
But we thank Anoba Foundation so much for the good work that you've done for Poku Chrome number 1 MABC school. In fact, we did not know that Poku Chrome number 1 MABC school will be taken into account in situations like this. And I believe and hope that this will go a long way to help the children as well as the parents. We thank Anoba Foundation so much.
Team lead for the sanitary project, Anochiwaba Ajuasewa, shares why her team embarked on the sanitary project.
Being a people's teacher, it was commonplace to come across students who miss classes just because it's that time of the month. And that's the reason for this foundation. We solicited for funds and the foundation added up. We got some sanitary pads, plenty cartons, and we're moving to 5 schools and we are sharing to each student from JHS 1 to JHS 3. This is to help them with their menstrual hygiene and to help them out with these sanitary pads, so that they can at least do it well, look hygienic, and then protect them from any future occurrences. So thank you so much, Ghana. Thank you everybody who sends a CD, PESWA, to help this project.
In all, 5 schools benefited from the maiden edition of the sanitary project. They are Amisa MA Basic, Pokukrom MA, Merecheso MA, Esikuma MA, and Kwame Prekrom MA schools. Anoba Foundation will replicate the sanitary project across the country in coming months.
And it's on that note of giving that we cap off the news. But do stay with us. The news review is up next.